Hello, and welcome to, I guess, a episode of How to Build an Atlas. I was asked to do this sort of video to help server performances and such. Um, so this is a little bit of a long video. There, I've it incorporates how to build without using foundations. Um, how to set up your kitchen, essentially the, plumbing, which is always the issue. And so I'm going to build uh 3 buildings, quick builds. You can It's just to give you a basic idea on how to set up stuff without using stacked foundations. Um, you'll see that there, and I'll explain as we go. Um, but we've got a building using fresh water source. We've got using where you don't have fresh water on your island, so you have to use the water reservoirs. Um, and then a farm because you're going to do the same thing with a reservoir or otherwise. But I just want to show you the range of the piping, so you don't have to do pipes everywhere. Okay, so here we go. And thanks to Fire Striker, Fred Savage is one of his other characters, um, for making things explode at the end of the video. Um, yeah, just shenanigans. Okay, so we have. I gotta increase. So we're stacking the foundations, right? Just to get that height up off the ground. You can go up 3, 4, wherever you want. Or if you're doing it over a cliff face, I would suggest doing wherever your high point is and doing your one foundation out from there and then your pillars out. Granted, if you're doing it over a cliff face or let's say a mountain area, I would suggest at that point using a wooden cliff platform. Unfortunately, you're going to be stuck with a lot of triangle usage on that. But please remember to not overlap your triangles and your squares, because that is where you're going to run into your CPU and your issues. Because your computer is trying to load too many layers at once, and that is what's going to cause issues. As you can see here, you can build out, and it's going to have the structural support. That's why I'm gonna use the walls here to show you. You can place walls all the way up and down that, and I only have what 2 pillars holding it up, and that's a 7. This is gonna be a 7 by 7 roughly building. You have to put the middle support in, but you can build out from there, go back, and get rid of that middle support. So you're easing up your usage on, you know, support. So this 7 by 7 building is going to be held up by 4 pillars. Because I'm going to move everything in one, just to give that added space, um, and support to the middle in case of wanting to, let's say you want to put stairs, extra stuff. You don't need to do that, but I like the visual aspect of moving the pillar in one from the outside edge. That's me. Do what you will. Um, but you'll see that I keep showing that it doesn't have support there in the middle. So as soon as I finish, filling this in, I accidentally made a tall character. I should have just made a short character. It's got that support there from the middle, but at the same time, it's going to have that support over on the side as well. And then got Bert running around, plotting out where he's gonna put explosive barrels on on the buildings. Um. So right now I'm just moving the pillars in one. And then I totally forgot to grab the second one there. I'll get it later. I just realized I have double music going on. Oh. So let's see. You can put any kind of walls. You can always replace the walls with, windows or plain ones. Um, so the idea is you can kind of cover up whatever you want to do on the outside, right? Underneath. You can make it look more um, kind of uh, vacation homey or however you want. I'm doing this all in wood because wood is gonna have it's gonna work a lot um, easier for your CPU and everything else. Don't know why, but it is how it is. The amount of polys and such that go into um, loading your walls, your wooden walls versus your rock walls. If you're doing a RP server, you know, why are you built? I know that stone looks really nice. And quite a few RP servers are now using the rustic mods and a few other mods as such that are going to be a little bit easier on the poly count. Stone wise, they've got you can use their stone walls for that. But using the base game, if you're doing base game builds, like even on your own single player, like this is in single player, I would suggest doing things out of wood because it's going to be easier on your game or your computer period. As soon as you start adding seawalls and such to everything, the NPCs aren't going to come and attack you. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Unless you have your NPCs set to like super aggressive that you change like the backend file. That's your choice. In a matter of a few minutes, we've pretty much built a building on stilts. You can make it bigger than a 7x7. At that point, if you're making it wider and longer, you will start having to add some structural support. 7 ceiling tiles across is pretty much your limit. So I'm just showing right here trying it out with the thatch underneath. Kind of looks a little bit more vacation homey. I don't know. Don't worry, I'm gonna switch it here too. You can build this up as high as you want. There's not really a structural limit on that aspect. So if you want to build a nice tall building, go for it. The nice thing about the rustic mods is it's got the option to do foundation pillar support on triangles. So if you want to do a triangle build uh, or circular build in that aspect, you can do that with the rustic mods. That's why I was mentioning it before. Whatever you do, do not overlap the triangles and squares. If stuff doesn't quite match up, figure out some way to not have them overlap. Because as soon as you have the triangles overlapping the squares, um, whether it's on ships or if it's um, on your buildings, you are adding to that CPU usage because your computer is trying to load too many layers at once, and that's where you're going to start noticing your frame drops and all that jazz. So please keep that in mind. You may have a really strong computer. The reason that I have Bert running around in the background is because he's actually telling me CPU when he runs into I mean not CPU, but his frame rates and stuff like that when he's running around. Remember, this is not completely an optimized game in that aspect. There is going to be issues. Before I started building and everything, my frame rate was in the low 90s. And that was before anything. Just as soon as I got in the game, we were already at that point. So, but last night when we were we were trying this stuff out. I was sitting closer to 100. There was a update last night for Grape Shot. I'm not sure all I went into it. And I'm not going to pretend to know, but things were a little bit lower than they were before, right? Sorry, exiting out of stuff. So this is the water source. You want to place that that underground water pipe in the water source. That's why I'm moving it around, so I give myself enough time to talk, right? Then you follow the blue. Oh, I ran out of blue. Put another one. This is how piping works. This is when you have that fresh water source. I'm doing this out in the open. If you can place it up against rocks and stuff like that, so it's not blatantly out in the open, you might have to use a couple extra more. If you have your building up, let's say it was up one more story, you could definitely put that in the middle underneath your building if you wanted to. But I never suggest piping off of it because it's gonna be it's gonna be kind of a pain to yeah, I went there. It's gonna be a pain to try to you know, make sure it's even and all that stuff. So you're gonna want to place the one foundation, put your indoor water pipe. I just put it in the middle of the room on purpose. And see, it's kind of in the middle, but it's not exactly lined up. So this is the section of the tutorial for making sure of your grills, right? Put a water tap on there. Build an extra room. Like a water closet if you wanted to. hide the pipes. You know, there's so many options you can do with this style of build. Um, and you can even turn this into a if you put it up like maybe one or two more um or one more floor level, you can definitely make like a basement or something close to that. So if we go up here, I based it off of where I was putting the pillar, right? And so that's gonna put it still in the middle of the floor. And it's not quite lined up. That's okay for right now, because I'm gonna end up destroying it here shortly. But oh no, I can't snap anything. Why? Because the ceiling's too short. So you need 2 walls high above your grills in order to place the grills. So I'm gonna take these out real quick. Right. That is definitely not a not a straight water pipe right there at all. It's not gonna snap over there. And the water pipe can snap to the top of the to the grill or the bottom of the grill as long as it's got that space above it. So right now it's only a half wall high, right? With that half wall, it's only going to be a total of 1 wall. So even if we do another wall high, don't forget you have triangles. Make things work. Don't worry, the next building's a little less rugged, a little bit quicker. Since we already kind of showed a few things here. So if I take this out, right? And I put some ceilings across. Because it's only, 1.5 above the grill, right? Because you have to remember that grill is essentially taking that whole wall space up. I pick all these up really quick. Come on. And I make it either a half wall or in this case, I'm just going to do a whole wall because I don't feel like hitting the T-bud. Gotta feel a little bit like doing the T-bud, but like, eh. Being in fly is actually makes it a little bit more difficult to place things sometimes. So if you have this amount of space above your grills, if anything does go wrong, you're always going to be able to replace or build your grills, as you can see. There's that. So let's say it's great and all, right? But unfortunately, I'm gonna just walk outside here and be like, oh man, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I need to come down here. I decide to destroy this. You just lost all the grills. All the grills are gone upstairs. Now I'm gonna place it. I'm gonna actually place it. So it's gonna be nice and uh against that wall. Lining this one foundation. Oops. Against this wall. Being a little OCD about it, just a smidge. It's nice and flush against that wall. Nice and flush against that wall. Right now I'm gonna show you how to. So I put that little, you can flip that around so it's in any corner. Make the pipe go up and then what I mean by backing the pipe up, which I'll show you after I place all of the grills again here. And see, that one's going outside because it's going to be a smidge bit off from the center point. Because wherever the little bulb is where your grills are going to place or they're going to snap to. And then I'm going to come out here and I'm going to place a water pipe coming out from there. And I'm going to attach a water reservoir. The water reservoir is going to secure your pipes. So if anything, let's say somebody decided, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm going to go and destroy this foundation and stuff down here. Or I'm going to just destroy this indoor water pipe on this foundation. It's gonna help hold all of your pipes in place. As soon as we put in this secondary pipe going into the top part. So you're making a alternative route to your pipes. Not like a backup pipe kind of thing. I hope that's simple enough terms. So we're going to put all these in because if I were to break before I put that in, the likeliness of everything breaking underneath. Get out of my way. If I destroy this, right? The pipes are staying. Oh no. I'm so silly. Everything stayed. Everything's still irrigated. Because it rained a little bit. So we just come down here and you can put a brand spanking new indoor water pipe and it's gonna connect to your previous water pipe. Before you couldn't do that. Let's say that typically somebody, oh no, I'm just gonna get rid of these along the way. So usually from that indoor water pipe it wasn't that you could just place a new one of these. It would be a blue connection from your indoor water pipe and then it'd be yellow connection to the next pipe. But they seem to have fixed that a little bit on the back end, but it wasn't in any of the patch notes. I'm just saying. Not everything's in those patch notes. So that's all backed up secure, irrigated. Having that backup reservoir, even if you built over it after you put it in, you're securing your pipes with that, just in case somebody decides to find an alpha next to the water pipes and accidentally destroys one of those along the way. You're not going to have to redo all your piping in the kitchen. Whereas back when Atlas first came out, you had to redo all the piping in the kitchen, which meant that you had to destroy half your kitchen. So we built that. And now I'm going to show you how to do essentially a kind of a kitchen building, but you don't have fresh water on your island. The last two chapters that I've played or season, well, not last season, but the last two chapters of RP that I've been doing, we've been on islands that don't have fresh water. So it's all about the placement of the water reservoirs, right? At that point. And if you're fast enough, you can pick up the foundations, so you don't have to destroy them and you don't have extra crap in your pocket. So when you can't place a floor on the outside like that, which means that you can't place a wall. So there's no support on that side of the square. So keep that in mind. If you feel like you're like, I'm going to want to build off of this a little bit more, that's why I try to stick to the corners when I build. 6. No, one more. Come on. I'm going to move this pillar in while I'm thinking about it. That one doesn't have support because I didn't put the pillar in the corner. And it's kind of hard to get to since the ground is not level. So I'm just going to destroy this real quick. Put a new one in and oh, done. Game's letting me do it, so I'm going to do it. There we go. And if you're quick enough about stuff, you don't have to worry about destroying stuff. If you're quick enough about it, you can typically pick it up, and it's not so bad. I didn't put the pillar in the back corner. So I'm gonna quick build, and since that corner doesn't, or that side of the wall doesn't have support, I'm gonna show you like make it over there. I'm doing this quick build. We're just gonna build the kitchen area side. Build the kitchen. Okay, so it's too high above, right? pillar. There. For the pillar. Now it's fully supported. This 7x7 is fully supported. Remember, first person is sometimes the easiest for building. Your snap points are going to be more on point instead of where the heck did that go? Do a triangle wall here. But because this is not going to be a full wall or full two walls above it, I'm not going to be able to put girls on those sides, right? And you can definitely you could build the floor off to the side, right? And put your water reservoirs out there, right? If you wanted to. I'm going to put them on the roof. I'll show you why. In a hot second after I get done building the roof here. Stop over hitting the T button. We're going to do 2 away from the girl wall. There's nothing saying that you can't put like a second story above this if you wanted to. You could put the farm above this. There's so many choices for you. To work with. Typically, since I've been playing, decently tall characters. I always suggest doing a floor and a half. So then if you do 2 stories at the floor and a half, then you will be in good standing to put your grill. So it's the equivalent of three walls high, right? Put my door here, ramp here. The walls down around the bottom. And with some of the mods, you can put like the thatch walls around the bottom if you wanted to. You could put the wood walls. If you're using the rustic mod, you can do. They actually have a wall foundation. Well, it's a stone wall foundation wall that you can use as well. So it makes it look like it's a foundation. There's that option. I accidentally hit T. What I wanted. You can tuck it in so it's not sticking out on the sides. And with that ramp, you can definitely add railings if you wanted, or half walls for like a more full railing. Stairs here. My grappling hook away. So you're going to want to line this up. My trick is if you see with the wood, this would right there would we'll put it so the center is right where the wood the two pieces of wood meet, right? But if I put a pipe on it like this, it's sticking out too far. You can see it's going to stick out too far. We're going to pick it up. We're going to move it back just a smidge. Just one bar. So you see there's that other ridge of wood in the wood kind of frame. Right there, and trying to center it as much as possible. So matching up the arrow, right? So you can see how that goes. But it's enough to tuck it in just a little bit from the wall. So once you get that first water reservoir in and where you want it, make sure everything's, lined up the way you want it. Bring the pipe down from the roof. I don't know why I put those two at the end. I'm just about to destroy them anyway. So since the roof is definitely not high enough in those corners, it's not going to snap, right? But that is how you hook up a water reservoir and hook up your kitchen. Unfortunately, when it comes to the water reservoirs, you can't back them up. Once you, the other problem with water reservoirs is if you run out of water in the reservoir, they will get stuck on a cycling between the grills. So if you are on a island that has no fresh water, my suggestion is make sure you know where all your piping is going to go and stuff, but hold off on putting your grills down until your reservoirs are about half full. So then they're not stuck in a cycling kind of. But with water reservoirs, after you place that first one, you throw your pipes down and all of the reservoirs will snap to it. So you don't have to line anything up again. You just have to line that first one up and then look at that. Just bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. You can put it in a however you want. I'm just being silly and evening it out and putting pipes down the other side. So it's like, I'm going to destroy these two corner ones just because they're driving me crazy. They're not needed. And the pipes are white right now because of the fact that there's no water in the reservoirs, right? So as soon as it rains, they're going to turn blue. But the problem is since they're empty reservoirs, they're going to cycle through blue because they're going to shift the water between the reservoirs and all of the grills. So that's my suggestion is you can put all that piping down, make sure it goes in nice, maybe with one grill, and then quickly pick up the grill and leave it alone while you go build other things. So that way it has a chance to fill up the water reservoirs before it starts trying to cycle through the grills of trying to fill them up, because each grill is going to take 300 And your water reservoirs are only going to fill up maybe 400 or 500 sometimes, more, sometimes less, every time it rains. So just, finish building everything else while it rains. Put some water barrels out and you'll be fine, until those get filled up. You can't really start cooking right away. Now we're going to build a farm real quick. I'm going to show you the range of the farm and the difference between the large plots and the small plots. I have not noticed a yield difference in all of my farming between using the large and the small. The small ones, I much prefer. Their snap, like if you are playing on a server that has has the collision turned off, I think. If you're playing on a server where you can't overlap things, I would definitely suggest the large, because of the fact that the large and the small have the same range around them for the snap. I mean, in order to put them down. It's really weird, but that's how it is. You're gonna put essentially one large farm plot, and then you're gonna have to space it out about about a fourth of a space, in between each. They're not gonna overlap. I currently play on most of the servers I play on are, I'm able to overlap. That collision's turned on, so I can do things like what I'm about to do. So this is the large farm plot, right? And this is a 7x4 quick little farm. And if the collision was turned off, so I couldn't, overlap them a little bit like I just did, you're only going to be able to fit, I think, one less than what I am right now. And it's going to be, the spacing between the small farm plots is going to be around or a little bit less. But I do not notice a yield difference between the large farm plots and the small ones. It's all about preference. I miss the medium ones that the game used to have. So you've got, you can fit essentially 2 plots to 2-to-1. You can plant way more of a variety of your vegetables for your cooking needs now, as you can see. Do be sure to remember to fertilize and make sure that they're irrigated and such before you or any server restarts and such, because there is sometimes a glitch with the farm plots where it has the bug where nothing will grow if it doesn't have all 3 conditions of the seed, the fertilizer, and the water for that farm plot. And you'll have to break the farm plot and just redo a farm plot. And if you are on an island where you don't have fresh water, that means you're going through all of your water reservoirs really quick. I'm bringing plumbing over real quick, branching it off of what I already got. It's out of range of those 2, and I'm going for the middle one. Oh, there we go. Grab the one foundation. snap it to the side of the building. That indoor water piping. So if you want a 2-story farm, if you're able to, if you bring up your level by 1, essentially a half a floor, right? You go up a half a floor and then put all of your ceilings down. You can do underwater piping if you're only going to do a 2-story farm. I'm going to show you the range of the farm here. If I can remember that I'm using a irrigation pipe instead of a straight water. There we go. Why I shouldn't do videos when I'm slightly tired. But I'm on a time crunch too. So, let's see here. I don't know why. Oh, I do know. Okay. So, we're not throwing any vegetables or anything down. We're just showing the range of the irrigation. Walls for support. The rustic mod is nice for this aspect. They've got glass walls, by the way. It's really nice. And you can put glass windows in the door frames. It's nice. We're almost to the end. We're almost to the end, everybody. So irrigation pipes are a little bit finicky. So horizontally, they are going to cover 2 squares. Sometimes it's 2 to 3 squares. What I mean by that is, as you can see, I have the pipe pretty much down the middle because this is a 4x7, right? I'm just gonna place all these walls. There we go. And time for some stairs. Well, or instead of stairs, I'm gonna use the ramp. Just to put a ceiling down so I can snap to it. Silly me. Go up and ceiling. And ramp. There's the ramp. Okay. Put down some floors. So this would be your second story. And you can do the 1.5 floors if you wanted to. So if you're doing a 3-story farm, a relatively small one, you can. So if you were to put the pipes underneath at this point, it's going to water your first story and it's going to water your second story if you were to do the pipes right underneath that first floor. Now, I haven't put the irrigation in yet on purpose. Just throwing some farm plots down here. They're not irrigated because I haven't put any irrigation pipes in. I like to do the straight pipe over to the building. And then I'm going to do one at the bottom here. Show the range here. I'm not going to put that bottom one in here first. I'm going to put the top one in. So if we go down here, these are not irrigated at all because it's just out of range by one, like, actually it's by like a half a ceiling tile. I mean a half a wall. Now if I put it on this one, right? It's gonna be irrigated. So there's that, right? There's that, right? But we're gonna throw that third floor on real quick. And I'm gonna have a brain freeze on the fact of putting the ceiling down in order to make the stairs up. Just makes snapping a lot easier. There we go. Yeah. Then throw some floors down. Throw these arm plots down here quick. Irrigated already. Look at that. So putting the irrigation, it's gonna water it above and below for 3 stories, right? And then so vertically it's gonna go up 2 floors, down 2 floors. Okay. You got a 2-story leeway on that. And it's about the same when you're dealing with horizontally, it's only 2 ceiling tiles out from it. So if I were to build this any wider, or than the 4, it would have to come, I would have to put where I'm standing a row of piping as well to water those plants. That makes sense, right? So that is, as you can see, he decided that he's going to test the structural stability of the buildings. Um, which he's setting the explosive right now. And you'll see how stable the building is after 3 explosive barrels. I think it's 3 in there. I didn't completely look around. But as you can see, the pipes were very secure. It's very, very secure on this building. Sorry about that. And then this one, but he did set those on the last building carefully around the pillars. This one is not around the pillars. It's around just on one side. try to look away before the explosion. But it's so shiny. So as you can see, the explosive barrels didn't quite take out the building, and he missed one, which I am really he's setting it because I mocked him for it. And all I did was took out the pipes, so it made all that go. But the water reservoir is gonna hold up pretty freaking well. And secure a lot of things for you. And that one pillar held up a good chunk of that building. What you're not gonna see here, because I'm gonna end the video. Um, uh, and such. Um, it's just it ends up taking 8 explosive barrels to destroy the farm. But I hope you all have a wonderful time building, and I hope this makes it a little bit easier on having visitors if you're RPing. And I hope that it helps you understand the basics of building when it comes to using those blasted water pipes, because everybody hates them because they don't know how to use them. Trust me, I hated them at first, and now that I have over 3,000 hours in Atlas at this point, I know how to use them. I'm here for you. Have questions. Hopefully this answered them, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Sorry the video's so long, and it says stream, but it is what it is. I had